In a world filled with the relentless clamor of city life, some places stand as solemn reminders of the past, where time seemed to hold its breath. One such place is the Manila American Cemetery, a hallowed ground that evokes not just memories, but also deeper emotions and questions about our shared human experience. Welcome to the Duskbound Voices channel. Discover the details of this story. If you don't want to miss the many others we're preparing for you, subscribe to our channel now. Between the relentless noise of the city, horns, hurried footsteps, and voices blending into the warm air of the Philippines, there exists a territory where time seems to slow down, almost as if it were breathing at a different rhythm. Upon crossing its gates, the outside world dissolves and silence takes on a presence of its own. There rests the Manila American Cemetery, the largest U.S. military cemetery outside its national territory. A vast field of memory where more than 17,000 soldiers from World War II lie beneath perfectly aligned white headstones. The first impact is not visual. It is sensory. Sound fades abruptly, as if an invisible barrier separates that space from the rest of the city. Each step echoes differently, as though the ground absorbs not only the weight of the body, but also the weight of history. The rows of graves stretch as far as the eye can see, forming an almost hypnotic pattern, mathematically precise, a silent order imposed upon a past marked by chaos. The wind moves through the headstones in a constant flow, producing a continuous, low, unsettling whisper. It is not merely the sound of moving air. Many visitors describe the feeling that something seems to follow their steps, as if the space held an invisible awareness. Some report sudden chills, subtle shifts in temperature, and a strange impression of being watched, even when no one else is around. Each headstone carries a name, a date, an abrupt interruption of a life. Young men who crossed oceans, left families, dreams, futures, and found the end of their stories there. But what impresses most is not only the number of the dead. It is the persistent sense that something of those lives still remains in the environment, like an emotional echo that time has not managed to erase. Just a few meters beyond the cemetery, old military structures still stand like open scars in the landscape. Stone walls, spaces that witness suffering, confinement, and death during the conflict. There, the sensation changes. The silence grows heavier. The light feels different. The atmosphere carries a tension that is difficult to explain rationally. Local accounts speak of footsteps that belong to no one, shadows that seem to move at the edges of vision, and sounds that arise when there is no wind and no people. This is not merely about stories told to frighten tourists. Many visitors claim to feel a profound emotional shift when walking through these spaces, a sudden melancholy, a pressure in the chest, a sadness without an apparent cause, as if the environment were still saturated with the emotions once lived there: fear, despair, interrupted hope, silent farewells. The contrast between the tranquil beauty of the cemetery and the brutality of what occurred on that soil creates an almost paradoxical experience. The site is beautiful, organized, serene. Yet beneath this appearance lies a historical weight that seems to pulse in silence. It is as if the place functions as a vast emotional archive of humanity, storing not only facts, but sensations. Some believe that places marked by extreme events end up absorbing emotional energy, not necessarily as something supernatural, but as environmental memory, deep imprint that remains recorded in the atmosphere, the very ground. Perhaps that is what so many people feel there. Not visible ghosts, but invisible echoes of lives that ended abruptly. Even so, the mystery persists. Why do so many people from different cultures, ages, and beliefs describe such similar sensations? Why does the silence there seem more intense than anywhere else? Why does the wind seem to carry something beyond the simple movement of air? Why do some leave in absolute introspection, while others feel a discomfort that is difficult to translate into words? Perhaps certain places cannot forget. Perhaps history does not remain only in books, but also in physical space, in environments, in the voids between one stone and another. The Manila American Cemetery is not merely a memorial. It is an invisible frontier between past and present, between what was lived And what still reverberates. To walk there is to realize that war does not end when the weapons fall silent. It continues in memory, in the marks left on the landscape, in the silences that cross generations. The true mystery lies not only in what can be seen, but in what can be felt. That subtle sensation that time and that place never quite moved forward. Because some horrors do not disappear. They do not scream. They do not reveal themselves. They simply remain hidden in silence. What you saw is only part of the story. To stay up to date on upcoming facts, mysteries, and revelations, subscribe and follow our channel.